my dad's first cousin, his name was Clarence Curtis. I think he was 25, the story takes place, and my dad was probably about 10 or 11. But Clarence was a son of, I don't know whether it was Eli or Owen, and Byron was the son of Nem. They were the three brothers that settled in Victor. In 1889 was Nem, Eli, and Owen. But the train had came to Victor in 1913, and that changed the whole world up there, because they could bring the freight there to Victor and drop it off, and then they caused a lot of people with a good team of horses to freight it over the hill,
To Jackson.
And the roads wasn't good. And for the first 10 or 15 years in the park, they wouldn't allow cars. I didn't know that. They weren't going to let any cars go through the park. You had to go by wagons. But anyway, this Clarence, he was 25 years old, a young man and never married. And he got the job of taking the mail to Jackson every day. He'd pick it up off the train and take it over the hill. And it was in the winter, and so he had his team and sleigh. And this one day, the game warden had been over there in the Victor area and asked if he could ride back with him, and he said, yeah. So he was sitting kind of on the back of the sleigh, and they were going up about a half or a mile above the Birchers there. And that was an old roadhouse where the pass really got steep in the old road, and the game warden said that he just heard something, and he looked up just as Clarence hollered at his horses and slapped the lines, and the horses jumped, and when that happened, he was standing up and he fell off the back. And this snowslide came down and took Clarence and his horses and team and sleigh. And he was covered up. The game warden was covered up and said he knew his hand was out, and he wiggled around because he was on the edge of the slide, and he got out. And he said he panicked and tried to find a shovel or tools, and of course there were nothing. He got a single tree off and dug around, and couldn't find anything, so he knew he had to go get help. So he ran down to Birchers, which had been another 3 or 4 miles down there, and told them what had happened, and they got word to Clarence's father and to Nem, and they all went up there and got the boy out and brought him home, but he had died in that snowslide. And I remember Byron saying that his dad told him that snowslide was so heavy and wet that the lines of them horses, you couldn't pull them out. The snow was so dense on them. But he's buried there in Victor, right behind Grandma and Grandpa Curtis there.